So to put that into just a bit of context, really, if you walk out into the street, of every 10,000 people who go past you, one of those is likely to be a barbershop, or one person in 10,000, which is a mind-boggling figure, really. We are niche, but I think we could be a much bigger niche. So how do we do that? Well, it's not enough just to say, we're here, we sing, we're good, come and book us, come and join us. That's not going to cut too much ice with most people, I think. What we really need to do is tell people stories about ourselves, about who we are, about what we do, about what drives us on. People love stories. I mean, we know this. They like to identify themselves with stories. They love, most of all, to feel that they can be at least a small part of the stories that are going along around them. Just, I mean, think of all those hundreds of thousands of people who've been queuing in the past couple of weeks online for hours and hours and hours to get tickets to see Oasis at their reunion concerts. Now, I don't think, and you'll forgive me, sorry? I heard a noise. If it's an important noise, shout later. I don't think, and you'll forgive me if I'm a bit cynical about this, but I don't think it's the music alone which drove all those people to spend so much time and so much money and frustration to get to those Oasis gigs. If you listen to their music, well, they're a pretty okay rock band, but they're not spectacular. Paul McCartney, no less, described Oasis as a derivative band. But what Oasis does have is two mercurial brothers who, for the past 30 years, have been living out their tempestuous relationship in front of a fascinated public. People want to be there to see the next chapter. They want to say, I was there when Liam stormed off again, or maybe I was there and you could see that they still hated each other even though they got through the concert with gritted teeth, or maybe they'll be saying, I was there, and the fact that they put their differences behind them, that Liam and Noel were bathed in an aura of brotherly love. That made it a really spectacular, sensational, celebratory occasion. However those concerts go, people want to say, I was there, I was part of it. And though I'm not suggesting that we stage fights between the MD and the chair, or that we get the leader of the Barry section to argue with the leader of the tenor section, nothing like that. But we do want just a tiny sliver of that magic, that intrigue, that sense of we care about what happens to them next when it comes to our telling the stories about our own quartets and choruses. And that begins with identifying what we're about, what drives us on, the essence of our own barbershop story. Because it's in our posts, our concerts, our literature, our media interviews, in all of those things, we want people to experience just a little of what it means to be a part of this wonderful, talented, creative, committed, funny, often spontaneous community of barbershop singers, which we are all proud to belong. So what is it that drives on your particular group? Is it friendship? Is it just the enjoyment of getting together, spending some time with each other, ringing those chords, and maybe afterwards going to the pub for a chat and another song or two? Are you committed to your community? Do you love to go to sing-outs? Is it supporting local charities? Is it sharing the joy of singing with other local choirs? Maybe what drives you on is being challenged, the thrill of getting out there, getting ready for competition, taking part in local and national contests, maybe even international ones, and of winning, or at least if you can't win, constantly improving. That's something that some choruses do. I can think of one in particular who say, we like to improve constantly. We're always getting better. And whatever drives you on, whatever you love, whatever you want to achieve, and whatever from time to time you suffer as a setback, well, those are the things that make up your story. Those are the things that will help other people to be drawn into your story, to think that you matter, to talk about you to their friends, to maybe come along and see you, to book you for their gigs, and perhaps to join you if they love to sing, think, you're the choir that they want to join. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to go through a variety of posts. We'll have a look at them and see what we think about them and what it is that they bring out about their particular groups and how that helps. I will not be able to see whatever you write in the chat. You may have noticed the thick specs, the fact that I've been looking down at 0.26 writing just to read that last little bit. So please unmute yourself and shout out if you want to join in the conversation. If that all gets too much and it doesn't work on Zoom, then Ray will come in and will moderate, because I don't want to break Zoom. That's one of the things I don't want to do. Anyway, let's begin with a post. We are all on social media. There are 2 billion people on social media. You can reach them. We've all got to cut through all the other chatter from everybody else as well. So we can all write posts on Facebook or X or on Instagram, whatever it might be. And I'm going to, sorry, I'm just looking now closely at my screen, get something up which hopefully we'll be sharing with you in a moment. This is a post from Avon Harmony, a labs chorus in Bristol. And I love the way that they communicate. It's very straightforward, but it's actually, it's really compelling. So this one starts, and a fabulous night of singing was had by all. From our established singers to our lovely guests, we came to see what we are and do. We laughed, we danced, and we performed with gusto. And that's who we are. We've got soul. And in those few words, I think you learn a lot about Avon Harmony. They got some photographs underneath as well. There's a series of photos of them all meeting up. And then they say, and we need you. And they talk about some time to sing stuff that they're doing, get people in for October, and there's a link as well. And to me, it's a simple post, but it's quite compelling. And I just wonder, I mean, what are your thoughts about it? Okay. Well, there you are. That's a very, very straightforward post.
So go on then, John. I'll ask you a question about that. I know we get a lot of interaction with things that include short videos. So it's a lovely post and it's really encouraging. It's really positive. I've read the stats somewhere that say if you include a snippet of somebody doing something, even if it weren't singing, I mean, singing would be a bit of a bonus. How much do you think that would increase the engagement of this post? However, it is delightful, but would it then be even better if they did that? Say.
I think that there's a good, and we're going to come on to video in just a second. In fact, you preempted me, but you don't need to have video. I think you certainly need a picture. Most people engage with pictures, and there were about 7 or 8 different pictures down there, and they just show people basically coming together and having fun, and it was very casual. And I think that captures the essence of that particular chorus, that if you live locally, if you want to have a go, they'll welcome you with open arms. You can come in, you can have a song or two. I saw one post from them where they were talking about 4 or 5 people in the chorus having hearing aids, which again it tells you something about the chorus. Don't be put off if you've got a hearing aid. It's absolutely fine, you know. But you don't need to have a video every single week. You want to get lots and lots of stuff out there. You want people to see you all the time, to know that you're in the background all the time, and to notice what you're doing. Video will certainly help. But video takes more time to arrange than photos. So I would much rather just have a couple of photos that you can upload. Try and get them to be as interesting as possible, certainly. But have a couple of photos. If you don't have video, then don't think, I don't want to do a post. On the video front, let's move on to something with video. This is from my list of links here, which I'm going to try and find. There we are. There's Avon Harmony back again, so we'll try and move on from them. What I've got here is I've got things in front of the things. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay. So this is another post. This is a group that are only about the same size, actually, as Avon Harmony. They've got, I think, 17 or 18 singers. Slightly different approach, though. If you look at the text down there, it says, what better way to go about a day of busking? So they've had an exciting day, they've been busking, than to search for places with the best acoustics. Massive thanks to the Cube in Birmingham for letting us to film this. Now, you can see straight away, this is a group of people who think about what they do, who plan when they're going to go out and sing. This is not spontaneous. We hope you enjoy this cover of You're a Heavenly Thing. And they've got the arranger, which is always a good thing. Dan Wessler is, they've linked to him as well, which is good. The song was chosen for one of our previous workshops. They then go on to talk about their workshop. So you know that if you want to sing with them, quite serious about singing, you've got to be prepared to go in for a workshop. And the video itself, well, here it comes. Let's take a look at the video. Let me know if you can see this. I hope you can.
It's all good, John.
You can't hear them yet. That's because I haven't got the volume turned. So there you go. That's You're a Heavenly Thing from Mailbox. What do you think of that video? Looking at it now.
Can I speak? I think that's very good. Good evening to everybody. I think that's quite good as visual. Sound-wise, I have to say that's awful. It's just not coming across. There's too much echo. But anyway, I'm sure the intention is very good. We do this on a weekly basis, but in our own rehearsals. And of course, we use it for educational purposes, not so much for public awareness. But I think in the future, in the next 12 months, that's going to change a bit. We have some plans about making ourselves more aware, and we're going to take some more action on that line. Different photography, different cameras, a bit of movie, and a bit of live streaming occasionally.
Okay,
that's my bit.
Okay, anybody else got anything to say about the video?
It's Andrew. Hello, John.
Hi, Andrew.
What I think is good. The first one was very simple and not overloaded with information, which I think can be a bit off-putting. And to have a lot of technical stuff might put some people off. What's your feeling on that?
I think that when it comes, I think it was a very simple video to record, and it is visually pretty stunning. The Cube, you can see why they chose the Cube in Birmingham, and it's great. And actually, the song is quite a complex harmony song as well. And anybody listening to that who does sing, and I think Mailbox want to get people who are already into their singing and who already probably have some experience of this, so they will recognise it. The sound, well, I think they were going for a natural sound, a busky sound, and I agree with you. I think the visuals are more exciting than the audio. The audio, because of where they recorded it. But then you do feel that they've gone outside, and they you do feel it was going to be there, quite exciting. In terms of video, I'm not great at. I do video, and I edit it, but I'm not brilliant at it. Partly, I think, because I don't get that much from the pictures because of my vision. So most of you are already well ahead of me when it comes to editing video. And there are lots of free video editing software kits that you can get online. You go to someone like TechReader, which is which does reviews of these things, and you put in best free video software, then they'll come up with a number of options for you, and you can look at what might be right for you and just play around with it and use it. I was going to come along to something else, because it's all very well to stage these things, and it's great when we do. And when you've had a fantastic rehearsal, that's great. But what about when your rehearsal was bog standard? What about when it was so-so? You've got to keep your name in front of people. This is one that I did a little while back for Capital Chorus, when we just had one of those, we'd gone through the songs, and there's been nothing very exciting had happened. But when you get 10, 12, 15, 20, 50 people together, there's going to be something that you can remark on. In this case, it was just an off-the-cuff remark from the MD, who happened to know, somehow we got onto Johnny Mathis, and he happened to know that Johnny Mathis was a great athlete before he was a singer. So there's always something to surprise at the Capital Chorus rehearsal. Who knew, for example, that Johnny Mathis, along with being one of the all-time singing greats, was also a very successful athlete? Well, our MD Nick did, and now we know too. Come for the trivia, stay for the songs could soon be our motto. So I'm trying to be sort of slightly snidey with that. It's all right. You can take the mickey out the MD in our chorus, and also to say, well, we don't just sing. We talk about other stuff as well, and we all enjoy this kind of spoddy trivia type stuff. And then, just to sweeten the pill, at the very end, I recorded a quick tag that we'd done that night. And that's my little bit of video editing there, because I was able to dissolve to or cross-fade to a Capital Chorus logo, so just so it had a little bit of branding. So go on, oh, shut up. Go on then. Having asked you to comment on the other ones, you can tell me how rubbish that one was, if you like.
No, I thought that was good. It just gave a taster of what you do, which is probably enough to grab the attention and say, these are ordinary people doing extraordinary things with their vocals.
I mean, you know, anybody, any week, if there's nothing else going on, someone's probably going to sing a tag at your chorus. It takes 10 minutes to do it. You can always record it, and you can usually find something. And as I say, I think it's important to keep your name in front of people. You will gradually build followers on Facebook or whatever it might be. And you want to keep those followers interested, and you want to keep them bringing other people in as well. The other thing that you can do, which I did on that one, is I mentioned that we were singing at the Ideal Home Show, and I linked to it as well, so that you can. And I think the previous one as well, Mailbox had linked to Dan Westler, so people who follow him will have seen what they do. People who are going to the Ideal Home Show will have seen, or were interested in, will have seen that Capital Chorus is going to be there. And there are all kinds of places that you can link to. Most towns have group for active people in that town. I was looking at Windsor recently, the Royal Harmonics, and they've got 3 different groups in Windsor, which you can join, the biggest of which has 12,000 people. In West London, we're members of Ealing and Northfield Friends and various other groups, Capital. And when we're going to do anything, we sort of post on these groups as well. So so you can, you know, you can build your following that way. But you don't even have to sing to get people's attention. This, I thought, was a very engaging post, and it was from Cotton Town, who during the pandemic had they'd gone and recorded in their beach gear, sitting in front of their webcams, a version of God Only Knows, which they put out, and it got a lot of traction, and they'd used it to raise money for charity. And here's their MD with a personal message for everybody who had contributed some money to them.
With the Cotton Town Chorus, I just want to say a massive thank you on behalf of the chorus to all those of you that have seen our video of God Only Knows, which we did on behalf of the NHS and all our key workers as a thank you. We wanted to raise some money for the BBC's Big Night In for comic relief and children in need, and we set ourselves a target of £1,000. And within the space of a week, we've smashed over £1,700, which was absolutely amazing. So thank you very much to all those of you that have liked the video, shared the video, commented on the video, but most importantly to those that have donated. It was a very important project for us to do because we've got an NHS frontline worker in the chorus, and we also lost one of our members, Dr. John Kelly, to coronavirus. So as a chorus, this is very, very close to our hearts. Thank you for donating. Thank you for helping more vulnerable people in the society that are going to struggle with coronavirus. If you haven't seen the video, head over to our Facebook page or our website, cottontownchorus.co.uk. Click on it, watch it, like it, share it, comment on it, donate if you can. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
There you go. Did you hear that? It's all gone quiet.
No, heard that very clearly. Thank you.
That's good. Any thoughts from anyone?
Again, a very simple message, but very clear, and a good idea for initiating some kind of response, so we can send something out to the community, something that the community can connect with and associate with. So that's a very good idea. Thank you.
I think there were 2 things really. One is he was talking to people who had actually engaged with them in the past and thanking them. And thanking people for what they've done for you is always, it always goes down well with everybody. They feel appreciated for having followed you and done. For those who hadn't, having watched that, I'd be getting over and looking at their God Only Knows video. straight away. That's the first thing that I would do. And yet there's no singing, there's no, it's just a straight piece to camera, and he delivers it beautifully. And they clearly thought about what they wanted to say, and then said it very well, and in a way which I think will resonate with people. And so it's another way that you can get across to people on video very simply, without without having to go to lots of production effort. And particularly if you've had a sing out, or if you've had a charity event or something like that, it's a way of drawing attention to yourselves and to what you've done. So I take my hat off to them for that. That's really what I was going to. Oh no, actually, there was one other thing. Before we get on to, how to get yourself onto the wireless and the TV and into the local paper and all that kind of stuff. We all do time to sing and learn to sing courses. I've already said I'm not very good at video, but we did have a guy in the chorus at one point at Capitol who was a genius. He does this for a living. His name is Greg Nixon, and he oddly enough, he's at Cotton Town now, and he's doing the same thing for them. But about 7 or 8 years ago, he decided that he wanted to make a video to promote a time to sing course. And he just went round and recorded vox pops with people in the chorus. And he encapsulated in 2 minutes what it was going to be like. Have a look at this, and have a look at the way he uses his shots as well. And see if there's anything that you can spot about them. I'll just play it anyway and see. And hopefully we'll be able to hear it in a sec.
When somebody loved me, everything.
There's something about the harmony which is infectious, like the sound of that locked sound. There's something about it that just resonates in your body. Something just great about it.
When you're part of it and you can feel that the chord is right, and you can feel that everyone is singing together and everyone is singing what they should be singing, it's like nothing else.
Came along one Monday night, had an incredible time. It's something I'd never really experienced before, Barbershop singing, and to see a cappella live like that.
I think I probably had an image of Barbershop as a quartet wearing maybe some straw boaters, stripy jackets, that kind of thing.
The Learn to Sing in Harmony course is basically a course to introduce Barbershop to the wider public. We'll start by learning the basics. We'll work on posture, breathing exercises, tone, quality, and being comfortable when you sing. We will then learn a couple of new songs.
Within 8 months of doing the Learn to Sing course, I was singing on stage in Harrogate in front of maybe 4,000 people. And I would never have believed I'd have had the confidence or the ability or the interest to do that. And I loved it.
So there you go. That's something that Greg did for us. I mean, what do you notice about the way he did it?
I reckon that's very professional. Yeah, well done him. He took the camera, all sorts of different positions, and captured the essence of it. And he went to the new people who weren't put off by their previous images of what Barbershop might have been. So that was good. No, he did well.
He chose the little snippets that he used quite carefully. He did sort of 10 minutes with people, or 5 minutes or whatever it might be. And so he knew the story that he wanted to tell beforehand, I think. And he picked the bits that worked well with that. He also, and this is quite a useful thing when you're filming, not everybody's looking the same way. Some people looking left, some people looking right. So, and that, I think, to us looks more natural than just, have everybody sort of pointing the same way, looking in the same direction. So that was good. But the other thing that struck me, and it's something I learned from him, was when you've, I don't know if you noticed, but in the general shots, the people he'd just spoken to, I mean, the two people he'd just spoken to, you saw two of them singing in the quartet immediately afterwards. The MD was filmed from various places, from over somebody's shoulder on the risers, which makes you feel like you're on the risers. from behind as well and the side. So you're getting a variety of shots, which keeps the interest going as well. That one shot where somebody's got a side-on image of their face when they're singing, and it's not the sort of thing that would normally be visually very attractive, I think, but just and then there's a little bit of it's slightly blurred in the background. But as a shot, it's really interesting and it keeps your interest going, I think. So if you are going to play around, some of the techniques, and it's worth watching just on telly what they do as well, and picking up some of those and just making notes and saying, that's a good shot. Yeah, I could try that next time. And if you're going to make longer videos, it's worth thinking about those things.
Great advice. Thank you. Well done, John.
So let's move on to some of the other things. I mean, we talked about social media, but of course, there are still local papers. There is local radio, although there's not as much of it as there used to be. But the BBC, if you've got BBC local stations near you, they're still doing about 8 hours a day of local programs. There's TV. There's regional TV. There are often actually there are groups now in local communities who make videos, and they make them quite professionally, and they might be interested in doing something on you, and they've got 10,000 people as well. So how do you contact them? Well, one thing you can do is build up a list of the people that you want to contact, the newspapers, the local community websites, the TV stations, the radio stations. They will all have a contact us page, and you can send out a press release. And what we'll do here is I've got one here. If I just find it, hold on a second. That might be it, actually. Yeah, there you go. This again, this is not a brilliant one, but this is one that I did for something that we were doing, and it's the oldest trick in the book at Capital. What you really need is a snappy headline at the top, which tells you what's going on. So Capital Chorus takes Barbershop back to its roots, a smile, a snip, and a song. The first paragraph is a short paragraph that tells you what's happening. The next paragraph will tell you a bit more about what's happening and a little background detail. And I tend to make these too long, actually. I think that shouldn't be quite as long as it is, but there we are. And then, and I haven't done this here, but the third paragraph would usually be a quote from somebody in the chorus, just a couple of lines that people can say, so-and-so said. And the great thing about doing a press release like this, and then the last thing is further details. You got my number at the bottom of there. So further details, contact, and you just give a telephone number. And maybe these days as well, an email address would be very useful if they want to get back in touch with you. And the good thing about putting a press release together like this, although I think this is slightly too long, to be honest, is that a lot of local newspapers, particularly now, and a lot of local information sheets are put together on a skeleton staff. And so if they got the information there, and if you send a photograph, that's the other thing that's important, send a photograph, then they will pay attention to what you do, and it's a ready-made thing. They can just put a little story in the paper without even coming back to you, because you've given them all the information. They're busy people. They've got an awful lot of space to fill. They haven't got the people to do it, so they can just take it straight from the press release. The second reason for having it is that sometimes you'll send a press release to an organisation who are very busy, and it'll be overlooked. If you don't hear anything back, you can ring them up maybe a day later and say, just ringing about that press release I sent you earlier on. Have you seen it? And immediately if they say no, you've got an in to talk to them about what you're doing. And you can then say, what's your name? Give us an email address. I will send you the press release. And it's ready made, and off you go, and you can send it on. And you can get onto radio, you can get onto TV. They've all got space to fill, and they're looking for interesting stuff to do it with. So I've got something that says, ask host to start AI companion. I don't think I need that, do I? Sorry about that. So you've got things that you can do. And if we just listen, I've got an example here of a TV. I've clicked on the wrong thing. Got an example of when you actually send those out and you get something onto the telly. I think Amersham a cappella will have contacted. They were going to the States. They had a local concert, and they used that as a basis to contact their regional TV station, and this was the result. If I can get it to start. Yeah, there we are. Right. We need some volume. Hold on. There we go.
Of life have come together to form a community that quite literally works in perfect harmony. Amersham a cappella started more than 40 years ago, and in recent years has taken gold in international singing competitions. Before their next show in High Wycombe tomorrow night, Sally Williams, of course, joined them at rehearsals.
I don't think Guns N' Roses have ever sounded so, well, sweet. Amersham a cappella chorus are award-winning and sing in a barbershop style, so who better to be their mascot than...
Barbershop Barbie. Yes. Tell me about her. Well, Barbershop Barbie started with us many years ago. She didn't have to pass an audition. Listen to the rhythm, feel the music, shake the ground.
From the Beach House Bar in Amersham to an international gold, they know how to sing. But can they teach?
What are you guys singing on that line? Just that bit.
Without further ado, I was off, along with my weirdly energetic eyebrows, apparently. I was, unfortunately, also the only one dancing.
Well, there you go. Could you see that, by the way? I just realised I may not have clicked the right buttons. Could you see it and hear it?
Yep, all good.
Oh, good. Okay. Do you want to see any more of it? We've got about a minute and a half to go. Do you want to see it through to the end, or should we talk about it now?
There's a lot of nodding heads. Go to the end.
Here it comes then.
And by the third time I was so into it, I had my eyes shut. Wow, I really did too.
Some enchanted evening.
The choir has been going since 1982, and Anne was there on day one.
When you were obviously a very small child.
The music has changed a bit.
Now I think the first song we learned was Zippity Doo Dah. Zippity Doo Dah, brilliant!
She's relished their successful journey at competitions.
How did you celebrate when you won that gold in Ireland? Oh, I don't know whether that's fit for camera. Where do we go now? Where do we go? Sweet child of mine.
As well as being fun, it's also an amazing community and support system for every singer in it.
Recently, I've lost two of my closest friends to cancer, and I lost them in a relatively short space of time. And I think singing and coming together as a community really helped. When anyone turns up at chorus, everyone leaves the worries of the day at the door.
And there's breaking news, isn't there?
Well, because of our high scores, we've been invited to America to compete amongst the big wigs of Barbershop.
You cannot hear them sing without hearing their love for what they do and for each other. Talented in voice and special in spirit. Sally Williams, ITV News, Amersham.
Oh, wonderful. Now, it was a very...
So there you go. That's Amersham a cappella, and that would have been seen by, I don't know, 1.5 million people probably around London and the South when they got it on TV. I mean, what did you notice about the way that Amersham had lined people up for that?
How do you mean lined up? You mean for the shots?
Well, not just for the shot, but the people who were interviewed. The people who were interviewed.
It was very clever. Yeah, well worked out.
They thought about they got, first of all, they got the original member from the chorus.
Yeah.
Who was quite fun and quite slightly acerbic as well, with her zippity doo-dahs and things like that. They got a lady who Barbershop, Julie Harrison, I think her name was, who Barbershop had really helped because she'd lost someone recently, and that's going to tug at the viewer's heartstrings as well and say, God, this really is relevant. You know, this is something that it's not just about having fun. It's about more important stuff than that. And then, of course, they had they had the gimmick, Barbershop Barbie, which the TV company really went for. You know. So fair play. They've really thought that one out, and they planned and they prepared. Once they got the TV company on board, who said yes, we're interested, they'd really given them something to look at, something to talk about. It also helped that the reporter was quite bubbly as well, And then, of course, you had Helen, who being superbly professional as she always is. But I just thought it was a lovely, you know, it was a chorus finding a way of getting onto TV, and then they used it to the max. They really did.
I could add another point here, that one of the things that's been talked about a lot in recent years, thankfully, is the mental condition for a lot of people, going from young right through the ages. And one good way to get people on board is to introduce them to such music, because it might not appeal to all, but it will certainly give them an opportunity to get out and think about it. Even the granddads and people who haven't done it before might find a way out of their loneliness to get together in a group. So it could be another channel in which to get people involved.
I think you make an absolutely brilliant point there, because you want to watch what's going on in the news. And if you can find something topical, so if there's something about a mental health crisis or something, and you put out a thing that says, we're singing, it really does help with your mental health, and you have a doctor in the chorus, or you have someone who can support that in some way, whatever it might be, that is going to help you, because journalists will always go, you know, they're always looking for a local angle on something that's topical. And they're also looking, you know, we got lots of doom and gloom, so they're looking for good news stories as well. So if you can get that out there. The other thing to do, of course, is just listen to what's going on around you. If the radio's on and somebody says, if it's a phone-in program or it's a discussion program, you know, and they say, email us now with what you think, and there's something that relates to your chorus or quartet, get in there, email them. They'll mention it. I've got capital onto Jeremy Vine a couple of times doing that, you know, just by saying, well, our chorus went coming out of COVID, when they were talking about how choirs were managing. And you know, you get a mention, and that always helps. And it takes very little to do that. I know we're beginning to run short of time. I thought I'd play you an example of one person who was just listening to the radio, heard something, and thought, wow, I'm going to email them. I'm going to get in touch about that. So here we are. You might have heard this, but if not, have a listen. When it comes up. Sorry about this. We'll try again. Click on that, and hopefully it's going to open. Try again. Yeah, here he comes, I think. All being well.
Yesterday on the program, we did a 3-worder. I think it was Richard in Marple or somewhere like that, and he was on about it being International Barbershop Day, a day that we had not marked in any way because we were unaware that it was International Barbershop Day. So now, one day late, we're going to mark it. So here's Alan Hughes, Barbershop Quartet member, expert and judge from the British Association of Barbershop Singing. Sound like the perfect guest, Alan?
Hello.
Yes. How are you doing, sir?
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
All right. So define, if you will, barbershop singing.
Okay, well, barbershop singing, obviously, it's without any instruments. So that's the first thing. We are fully a cappella. It's 4-part harmony, so there's 4 voices. Similar to choral music in a way, however, we're different because instead of the melody being at the top, a melody's in the middle for us.
Sorry, what does that mean, the melody's being in the middle?
So usually in a kind of classical choir setup, the sopranos would sing the tune, the melody that everyone knows most of the time.
Right.
However, in barbershop, we give that to, there's another voice singing above that tune as well. That's what I do in my quartet. That's my job.
Right. So okay. So if we're defining, right, so this, which we're about to play, cannot be considered barbershop because I can already hear a piano in the background. Right, here we go.
Yes, technically, yeah. I suppose that's pretty close to barbershop. But if we're talking strict competition rules, we don't allow any instruments. But Mr. Sandman is a well-known barbershop song. Yeah.
But this singing style, here we go. So that's like close harmony. Is that the same as barbershop?
Yeah, close harmony singing. Yeah, it's very close because it's usually single gender. It's moved. We've seen more and more mixed quartets nowadays, but it's close harmony and usually single gender. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not quite sure where this fits in the gender rules, but this is the Muppets version of it.
Excellent.
So is this barbershop?
Sure, it's pretty. I don't think barbershop purists would say so, but it doesn't sound too far off to me.
So there you go. That's Alan Hughes, and actually we're less than half. It was primetime radio too, that with Simon Mayo, and he got about 5 or 6 minutes, and that was simply because he heard something, overheard it, thought I'm going to get in touch with them, and they had him on the next day. So it's always worth doing something like that, although you might get the Muppets thrown at you. So, any thoughts?
What you're showing us, John, is that there's possibilities to do anything. The local radio, we have a local radio in Leatherhead, Surrey Hills Radio, and they're always open to people contacting them, and they'll interview you if you've got something coming up. So there's all that sort of thing to go on and not be put off. So thank you for opening it up to everybody to see that you shouldn't be put off with any thoughts you might have about how difficult, it's not difficult, how difficult it is to get on radio and television, in the newspapers, magazines, etc. So thank you.
Well, I'm glad that the message is coming across loud and clear, because all these people are looking to reflect what happens in their communities. They're all reflecting content. We do good stuff. We just need to be out there telling people about what we do, making it a bit of a story, as Amersham did in that case. Being prepared to go out on a limb a little bit, as Alan did with, I mean, Simon Mayo, I don't think had given him advance warning of any of these questions. So, you know, he had to play along a bit, but he did get quite a bit of time to talk about Barbershop as well. So just keep at it, basically. Keep at it. Think about what it is that you want to tell people about your group, and then go out and just do it, whether it's on social media, whether it's in the mainstream media, even at your concerts when, you know, you've got an MC standing up and you're thinking about what to tell people. You know, there are some great MCs in Barbershop, but, you know, it's something that we all ought to be doing, and thinking about how we present ourselves all the time and coming across as lively and exciting and fun and vibrant. And if we do that, I'm sure we'll get lots more people in. Anyway, I think that's just about it from me. We're coming to time, as they always do on radio programs and TV shows. Stay tuned. I don't know whether Simon will be saying this anyway, but Rob Mance is coming up, and he's got an absolutely brilliant 3/4 of an hour, which is intriguing. Well, actually, I won't steal his thunder. But thank you very much from me for coming along on a Friday night, and good luck with all your interaction with people on social and on mainstream media. I'm looking forward to seeing you all lots more.
Thanks to you, John.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much for your time and all of your knowledge. It's been a really wonderful start to our evening. What's going to happen next is we're going to be removing everybody from the Zoom and putting you into the waiting room before, so that we can get everything set up with Rob for our next session. So that's just pre-warning that that's about to happen. Or you're more than welcome to leave the call and then rejoin again. Either of those will work. But once again, thanks so much, John, for your time. We've absolutely loved it. And we'll hopefully see lots of you again in a few minutes' time, ready for Rob. Thank you very much.
Thank you.